Sup guys, Robert here, doing another commentary on a match played at Locals. This was a tournament played at Paper Heroes Comics, June 4th. So this is the same tournament that Juan and Sergio played. And this is going to be round 3, so this is the round after their game. So my opponent is Sunday. He is a regular at Paper Heroes. Very strong player. He tops basically every week, so he's going to be a pretty good opponent for me. And our matches are pretty fun. This is the second time I've played against him in tournament. And yeah, so let's see how this match is going to play out. So I'm playing True Draco Demise, and Sunday is playing Yangzing Dino Danglong Cyframe Turbo. So a whole bunch of stuff. And it's a pretty good deck. So I'm going to win the die roll, and I'm going to elect to go first. I don't have a ton of practice against this deck, against Yangzings in general. I know how to make them miss timing, and that's essentially it. As far as the strategy goes, I know they search for that trap card, and that just kind of allows them to control the game. But other than that, that's really all the experience I have playing against Yangzing. So there isn't a lot of insight that I can offer for you guys that are trying to figure out how to play the match. Because yeah, like this is a matchup that I'm not very familiar with.
Same thing happened when pendulums happen. Yeah. And slowly people will start coming back. And people, yeah, they realize
Alrighty, so I'm gonna start us off here. And let's see what I open up with. So it looks like I opened up 4 back row and pass. So not an ideal opener, no diagram, no draw cards. And Sunday is actually gonna open poorly like me. He's not gonna have any monsters, he's gonna set 2 back row and he's gonna pass it over to me. And I'm going to activate True King Return before he exit main phase, and that's gonna allow me to tribute summon, and I'm gonna tribute summon the masterpiece that I had in my hand. So my hand wasn't that bad, I'm still gonna be able to tribute summon during my opponent's turn. So this is a little better than tribute summoning the masterpiece during my turn, because if I tribute summon the masterpiece during my turn, he's not going to have any cards on his field to pop. So it's better for me to just try to use the trap card attribute during his turn so I can pop some of his back rows and play reactive. So now the difference is I'm going to be able to play into anything that he sets, or I play into any of the back row that he sets. And I'm going to be able to, so with this play, I'm going to be able to use True King's Return during the end phase so I can put some pressure on him on my following turn. So that's a little better than summoning the masterpiece first. And I'm going to top deck into Demise. So I'm going to do damage first, I'm going to attack first with the masterpiece, and then I'm going to draw 3 cards. So now I'm in a pretty commanding position. I've got a pretty big monster on my side of the board. And it looks like I drew into diagram. And so now I'm going to be able to search for all the pieces that I need to solidify my game state, just like in the other matches that I played. I'm going to pop off the True King Return. It could be a bad play, because if he somehow answers my masterpiece, which is not immune to anything, I now won't have any form of recursion. So this is a risk that I'm going to be taking by popping the True King Return. And now I'm just thinking about right now what to search. So I've got 3 True King cards in the graveyard, or True Draco cards. So I could go for the Disciples, but it looks like I'm going to elect to choose the Maiden. So if I have Maiden, or if I'm searching Maiden, usually that means I have a trap card to go along with her. So that's going to allow me to search a monster and then use that monster that I searched the tribute. And I open up a Desires. So it looks like I drew the Desires off of the Demise, and I'm going to +1. So that Demise draw was pretty good. It's going to put me way, way ahead.
That's what Abe's thinking right now.
And let's see what we do here. So it looks like I drew a Heritage, so drawing some pretty good cards off of my Desires. And I'm going to draw one card because I sent a Disciples. And I'm going to get a Duality. So, wow, I just saw all of my draw cards. So I see Torrential, Skill Drain, and Dynamite. And it looks like I'm going to pick the Skill Drain. So Skill Drain is going to allow me to negate Danglong if he tries to search. Obviously, it's not going to stop any of the Yang Jing cards that get sent to the graveyard, but still having the Skill Drain is really strong. It's going to negate Boxia. It's going to negate any of the dinosaur cards that he plays. And I'm going to set 2. So now I control, what, 7 cards? And Sunday is, he's pretty behind right now. Sunday is going to Raigeki. So that's a good card to have. And he's going to chain, so I'm going to chain the Majesty Maiden to the Raigeki, and he's going to chain Gamma. So that's going to allow him to mount a comeback here. So he's going to be able to clear my fields. So this kind of sucks because now I don't have the return to bring back my Masterpiece, which sucks. So that may have been a misplay. Not only that is I was hoping to get the Majesty Maiden off, but now he has the Gamma. So then now I'm in a position where I need to, well, hope that he doesn't get rid of my diagram somehow, and I'll be able to come back in the game. So he needs to answer my diagram, and hope that I don't have a True King return to bring back my monsters, and I'll be left to top deck. So now Sunny's going to be able to summon a Vanilla from the deck, and he's going to be able to Synchro summon a Omega. So that was a pretty good Raigeki. Able to answer my field. Sunday's going to be Synchro Summoning for an Omega.
So this one, does it banish as a cost? Or
Now, Sunday knows that I have a Skill Drain, so there's not much that he can really do with this Omega. If he tries to activate his effect to take a card out of my hand, I can just chain the Skill Drain. So there's no way this Omega is going to be leaving the field. So I'm just reading the Omega, trying to refresh my memory on what Omega does. So I have the 3rd return. So fortunately, I have a 3rd return. So Omega is going to declare an attack, and I'm going to be able to bring back Masterpiece in defense. So Omega has 28, and my Masterpiece is going to be at 3250 defense. Sunny's going to set a back row. And let's see how I proceed here. So I'm going to be able to use the diagram to pop the back row if I'm scared of anything. Because I can use the diagram to pop the Heritage, and the Heritage can pop the back row. Also, I have True King Return, so I can use the return to bring back the Majesty Maiden that got sent to grave. Basically nullifying the advantage that Sunny gained from the Raigeki. So True King Return, one of the stronger cards in True Draco. I'm going to activate the True King Return, and I'm going to bring back the Majesty Maiden. So I won't be able to attack with the Majesty Maiden this turn, but I'll be able to turn the Masterpiece into attack mode and attack over the Omega. So I'm going to use the diagram to pop off the Maiden. So that free Maiden that I got from the graveyard, and I'll be able to search basically for free. And also, I sent a monster to the graveyard, so I'm going to be able to use Heritage to draw 1 if I'm going to use the effect now. So yeah, I'm going to use the Heritage, I'm going to draw 1. I'm going to Tribute Summon for a Dynamite, sending off the Heritage, and the Heritage is going to pop the back row. The back row is a 9 pillars, so not going to be helping Sunday at all. Going to be changing the Masterpiece to attack mode, and it appears that I have a very, very strong hold on this game. Sunday has no way to answer the return. He already used his board clear, and I don't imagine there's anything he can really draw to get him out of this spot when I have the Skill Drain and the Dynamite just getting advantage from anything he activates.
yeah, you'll die. Yeah. So you take minus 30 to 50, minus 28.
So I'm going to swing directly.
So you're at 1800. Dirty Raigeki, right?
And yeah, I'm just way ahead in this game. I don't really think there's much that Sunny can do. So it appears that Sunday is going to shuffle back a card and shuffle back the Omega. Which is funny. At this point, I've only seen side frame cards, so obviously he got 9 pillars sent to the graveyard, but if I didn't see 9 pillars, I would think that he's playing a side frame deck. But I already knew the deck that he was playing beforehand. It's just kind of funny that he was only really using side frames at this point in the game. So he's going to activate the Omega, and I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, yeah, he's going to return the Raigeki to maybe draw it if I don't kill him. So he needs to be able to survive this turn and then draw into it, but again, not much he can really do because I have the diagram, I have the return, so anything he clears will just come back.
No. If you want. I don't care. If you'd like to.
So Sunny just has 2 cards. I've got 9, it appears. 9, 8. So I've got a huge advantage. Sunny's going to Cosmic Cyclone away the diagram, and Sunny's going to have the last card's going to be a Gamma. So wow. So now he's going to be able to actually summon. He's going to be able to summon another Omega. So that was fortunate that for him that I chained the Dynamite. If I don't chain the Dynamite, then he can't activate the Gamma, and then he's just basically screwed. Oh, actually, he summons this guy. I actually think this is like the Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, the one that blows up all the special summon effect monsters. This was the first time I ever saw it. So it's going to blow up all the special summon effect monsters, and it's going to do 500 for each. And I believe that's the only thing it can do. But it's not a really big problem for me, because I can just pop the trap card off next turn and pop it. So now I'm debating now if I want to chain or try to answer it. I am going to elect to take the 3k. I have got full life points, there's no damage that he's done to me. And I would rather take the 3k and then summon after his attack so I can use stuff to answer him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so is it during either player's turn? No. It's only my turn. It's once per turn. Okay. So then, okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to bring back the Masterpiece after his attack. And if I draw a diagram or a monster, yeah, so I'm going to be able to draw a monster. All I got to do is tribute off the trap with the monster and then attack for game. So that's going to conclude game 1. That was a pretty long game. And we're going to move on to game number 2. Alright, moving on to game number 2. I was able to win the first game, and Sunday is going to elect to go first in this game. So hopefully Sunday can open a little better. So I sided 5 cards. I sided 3 Ash Blossom and 2 MST. So the MST is for any floodgates and just general back row removal. And then I side in Ash Blossom when I'm going second. So it doesn't really conflict with Demise. If I open Demise and an Ash Blossom, usually I'm going to be using the Ash Blossom during my opponent's turn, and it won't be conflicting with my Demise. And if worse comes to worse, and I have Demise and the hand trap, if I have Maxi, I can just pitch the Maxi and still get my 3 cards from Demise. Or I can just normal summon or set the hand trap and then just tribute it off using one of my extra normals. So it's not too bad. So he's going to activate Miscellaneous Saurus. I'm going to chain Maxi. I thought I opened broken, but then Sunday is going to have the Gamma. So Sunday opened pretty ideal. And I won't have the Ash Blossom for the Fossil Dig. If I had the Ash Blossom for the Fossil Dig, he would have used the Gamma, and then I could have chained the Maxi, and I would have gotten like 2 cards. I would have gotten one off the Miscellaneous, and then another one for the Gamma. So, fortunately, I only opened the Maxi. Can't open broken all the time. Sunny's going to open an Omega. Now that's going to allow him to take a card out of my hand during my turn, so it's going to be tough. He's going to get a Danglong, he's going to have Negation, and I'm going to be pretty much handicapped. I'm only going to have 5 cards trying to answer his board. Oviraptor is going to search for the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and he's going to have 2 of his dinosaurs engraved, the Aeolo and the Oviraptor, so in the case I answer his board, he's going to have the 3500 Beat Stick. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. So Sunny's going to summon Danglong, he's going to be searching for the trap card, and I'm going to be in a little bit of a pickle. So I kind of want to talk about my turn because I do remember what happened in this match. So I'm gonna have a Pot of Duality and a Demise. So I pretty much misplayed, and it was a pretty big misplay because Sunday luckily was able to knock the card of Demise out of my hand. So going into main phase, the turn player has the priority to activate cards before my opponent can activate cards. So what I should have done is I should have set the Demise first, so there's no way that he could knock it out of my hand. And then if he hits my Duality, I can just set my hand and activate. But obviously he does have the 9 pillars. So the most ideal situation is I set the Demise, he doesn't knock out the Duality. I activate Duality, search for something to tribute, because my hand, if I recall correctly, was just all spells and traps, and I did not have any monsters. So I would need to search for a monster off the Duality, hopefully, tribute off, try to force the 9 pillars, and then activate my Demise to come back in the game. But sadly, I misplayed. I activate the Pot of Duality first, fucking up, and then he was able to use the Omega to knock the Demise out of my hand. So that basically limited all the options that I had to answer his board. So it's a pretty big misplay, because Demise is a pretty broken card, and I can only imagine, you know, drawing 3 cards, it would have definitely been very helpful answering his board. And I really just need to answer his board right now. If I don't answer his board right now, then he's just going to get so much momentum, so much tempo, and it's going to be very, very tough for me to mount a comeback. So yeah, pretty big misplay on my part. So I'm going to activate Duality, and Sunday is obviously going to chain the Omega now that he has the opportunity to respond, and now he's going to be able to knock a card out of my hand. I believe it's going to be off shot, but he's going to be hitting the Demise of my hand, which is pretty good, which kind of sucks for me. So I'm going to chain an MST. I don't want him to knock the MST out. I wanted to use the MST to pop. Okay, so yeah, so I popped the 9 pillars. Okay, so I should have, let's see. So I did have the answer to the 9 pillars. So yeah, if I originally set the Demise, then it would have been pretty likely that I would have gone the Demise off.
Might get another one though, you never know.
So I'm going to activate Duality, and I'm going to see Spell Trap and a monster. So I'm going to need to grab the monster to tribute stuff.
Monster, right?
So yeah, pretty big misplay on my part. So I didn't need to actually draw the monster, try to bait out his back row. I just could have just used MST. And if I hit the 9 pillars, then I'll be able to activate the Demise with no problems, if the other card is not a 9 pillars. So I had to chain them MST because I did not want him to knock out the MST and remove my ability to knock out one of his back rows. So yeah, Omega really just makes the dynamic really, really tough and difficult to approach answering the board. You have to play your cards in weird orders. You gotta, you know, worry about one of your cards getting knocked out. It's really hard to formulate a plan. So I'm gonna tribute a trap. I'm going to pop his Danglong, and I'm going to be able to trigger my Dynamite. Chi-Wen's going to come back, and he's going to summon a Suani from the deck. So now that's going to allow him to Synchro summon during my turn.
I hit the pillars, right?
So it looks like I'm still going to be able to do some damage here. At the very least, I'll be able to force him to go into another Synchro. But I'm in no means in a good spot. So he's going to Synchro summon during my turn, during the battle phase.
Can you use this in your battle phase too? Okay, so you're doing this anytime on your opponent's turn. Okay, cool.
So Sunny's going to summon another Danglong, and the Danglong is going to trigger and search for another card. So now this Danglong is going to have, I don't even know how much defense, 28 plus 500, so 33. He's going to have 3,300 defense. No way my Dynamite Knuckle is going to be able to attack over that.
Plus 500 is 33.
Yeah, 33. I can't math either, it's okay. I'm tired of math.
And yeah, Sunny's going to be searching for Yangzing Path. So that's going to be his return 3, draw 2 card, his Avarice essentially. And that's going to allow him to gain a lot of advantage because, you know, he's in a pretty good spot. I for sure won't be able to answer his second Danglong, and he'll be able to for sure get his Yangtze path up next turn.
So replay. I will not attack.
So it's going to trigger a replay since the number of monsters on his side of the field changed. Going to activate Heritage. So I sent a trap card, so I'm going to be able to draw one card. And the second card is actually Pillar, so I'm pretty screwed. So even if I hit the one of the things with MST, he still had the second one. So he had a pretty good lock on the game. He had 2 negations, essentially 2 solemn judgments, and he had 1 card to knock a card out of my hand. So yeah, even if I was able to force out stuff, I don't even think I could have resolved the Demise. But that doesn't mean that I thought it was okay the way I played. I still misplayed, and I still could have played the game a lot differently. So he's going to activate Path. I'm going to chain my Dynamite, and I'm going to get an Apocalypse. So this is going to give me a little bit of disruption during his turn. I'll be able to use the Apocalypse to pop the return, and I'll be able to pop 1 monster. So Sunday is going to summon an Oviraptor, and he's going to get a search. Keep in mind he also still has the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno in his hand. And I'm in a pretty bad spot. Miscellaneous Source is going to trigger. Or rather, he's going to activate Miscellaneous Source in the grave. He's going to be able to summon something from the deck, maybe another Aeolo. So the second Aeolo.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
And he's going to be able to summon a level 8 Synchro.
What did you search?
The miscellaneous.
So you have one in your hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sunday activated the Miscellaneous Source that he summoned on his first turn. And he still has a Miscellaneous Source in his hand. Sunday's going to go into another Synchro. He's going to go into his third Danglong. That's going to net him another search. And Sunday is basically going to be able to lock down this game. So Sunday opened pretty well. He opened the Gamma for my 1 Maxi, and he was able to open or draw into another Pillar. So even if I had the out to it, he still has the second Pillars. And then he was also able to knock out. Because I misplayed, he was also able to knock out the Demise. So everything went Sunday's way in this game.
What does it do? Yeah, so
Back to that.
So do you target? Does it target?
Yeah, target.
Okay, targets.
So at this point, I probably should scoop. Boxia is going to be bouncing some cards back. Let's see. Oh, I still have a card in hand, so maybe I contribute to do something. I actually don't remember exactly what happened here. Okay, so I'm going to try to activate the Apocalypse to pop cards, but he's going to have the Cosmic Cyclone to banish it. So yeah, at this point now I should be scooping and not wasting time. So I'm going to be wasting like, a minute or so. So that's going to conclude the second game. Unfortunately, the third game I was not able to completely get it on film. My camera died, but it was a really long-winded game. I made a huge misplay. I played super bad in this match, but luckily I was able to eke out the win. I believe Sunday misplayed as well. So that is going to conclude this analysis of this match. Sorry I couldn't get match 3, and hopefully we can get some more commentary. So let me know what you guys think about these commentaries. If you guys have any feedback on the play or on my commentaries or the videos, just let me know. I am very receptive to criticism, and I would love to hear what you guys think. And yeah, stay tuned for the next one.